we're going to stay within the state here, and we're going to do some fall camp intel on the Tennessee Volunteers. Now, the big discussion point coming out of fall camp is obviously everybody's focused on who's going to be starting at quarterback for Tennessee, Faison Brandon or George McIntyre. I was actually asked about this uh, about a week ago, who I thought was going to be the starting quarterback in Knoxville this year. I lean Faison Brandon. And I think the longer this quarterback battle goes on, I think it favors Faison Brandon. If you think about it, George McIntyre, while doesn't have a ton of experience, he still has more experience than Faison Brandon. He got some, he came in mop-up duty. He has a year longer in the system, but yet he has not grabbed this job. He's not grabbed the bull by the horns. And I think Faison Brandon, well, I don't think I know, physically is a lot more impressive than George McIntyre. So the longer this thing goes on, I think it's going to be Faison Brandon. I could be wrong. And to be honest, Tennessee may not have to have it figured out by the time week one rolls around because it's Furman. Furman is their week one opponent. So they could run they could run Faison Brandon out there one series. They could run George McIntyre out there one series. They don't have to have it figured out. But by the time week two rolls around and you're going to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech, you would like to have it figured out by now. And knowing Josh Heupel like I think I know Josh Heupel, I think he's going to declare starter and he's going to roll with it. So we just have to wait. We are in the waiting game right now. A couple of injury notes for Tennessee. Linebacker Jaden Harmon suffered a season-ending ACL tear. Now, Jaden Harmon was not a projected starter at linebacker for Tennessee, but he was a depth piece. He was absolutely a depth piece, I believe, in year two for Tennessee. If you're looking at this on the bright side, if any injuries were to happen to a position group within the roster, you'd want it to be to your linebackers. Not that injuries are ideal, and it's not by any means, but linebacker figures to be one of the deeper position rooms on this roster. So, again, unfortunate that it happened to Jaden Harmon, and I feel for the kid. But if you were to have an injury to this roster, linebacker is one of the things where they're so deep that they may be okay. But also remember that Arian Carter received the 2-game suspension, laughably, from the NCAA. So as of right now, they're not going to have him. So the linebacker room has taken a hit in the preseason. Cornerback Ty Redmond, who is going to start for them this year, he is back out there. He was dealing with an injury. He was back out there on the practice field today. Brett Hubbs and Austin Price do a great job covering Tennessee football for VolQuest on 3. Their reports were that he was back out there on the practice field. Not going to be in full pads right away. There is going to be a buildup. There's going to be an acclimation period for him. Again, he's going to start if he's healthy for Tennessee. He was a freshman All-American last season, so it's good that he's back out there. So obviously the injury news to Jaden Harmon, not ideal, but a good thing that you're getting Ty Redmond back. The secondary also should be pretty strong for Tennessee this year. They do have a scrimmage on Saturday. I don't think Ty Redmond will be a full participant in that. He may not participate at all. But, again, he's in the acclimation period. So maybe expect him to be full go this time next week. The offensive line was a focus today. How do I expect the offensive line to look at left tackle? Going to be David Sanders, 5-star freshman last year, was playing at right tackle. He is now flipped over to left tackle, given that Tennessee's left tackle last year, Lance Hurd, transferred to Kentucky. So you need one of your better offensive linemen to protect the blind side of the quarterback. David Sanders, again, has that 5-star status. He will be playing left tackle this year. Wendell Moy, transfer from Arizona prior to last season, he's back. He's going to start at left guard. And Sam Pendleton, who is a transfer from Notre Dame 2 years ago, is back at center. So that left side of your offensive line is pretty set. Now there is discussion about the right guard. I think it's going to be Jesse Perry, but there is conversation about maybe having Jesse Perry, who was your right guard last year, bumping out to play right tackle. And if that happens, they're still trying to figure out who would be in that right guard spot. It's down to a couple guys. I think Jesse Perry is going to start at right guard. And then if Jesse Perry is at right guard, then your right tackle will be Ori Williams, a transfer from LSU. So from left to right, that's how I think this offensive line is going to look for Tennessee. And again, I expect offensive line to be a strength of this team this year. I thought something that was really refreshing, Glenn Ellerbe, who's the offensive line coach in Knoxville, was very honest about the offensive line, how they kind of ran out of steam in the back half of the regular season last year. That changes because one of the best hires that was made in college football this offseason was Tennessee bringing over strength coach Derek Owings, who was at Indiana last year, the winners of the national championship. And I kid you not, the night that Indiana won the national championship, Derek Owings brought a couple members of his staff, and they had a midnight flight to Knoxville. And again, he immediately got to work, meeting with players, installing his nutrition plans and that sort of thing. That was one of the best hires that was made this offseason nationally in college football. Derek Owings is regarded as one of the best strength coaches, if not the best, in the country. The way that things ended for Tennessee last year, getting ran out of your own building by Vanderbilt at the end of the year, an in-state rival, Josh Heupel, I applaud him because he realized that cannot happen again and changes needed to be made. So he brought in defensive coordinator Jim Knowles to replace Tim Banks, brought in a new strength staff, the highest paid strength coach in the country. I believe the number's at $1.2 million. Derek Owings, the reports have been fantastic. Guys are adding lean muscle. They look a lot better. Conditioning is been a main point of emphasis so that offensive line does not run out of steam, again, like they saw last year. But it was refreshing to hear the offensive line coach be honest, because we don't hear a lot of honesty. We hear a lot of coach speak when it comes to media availability. But I thought Tennessee crushed it with hiring Derek Owings this offseason. And I think we're going to see those results play dividends on the field come the fall.